The Cold War is not just a phrase, Your Honor. It's not just a figure of speech. Truly, a battle is being fought between two competing views of the world.
We are not utopians. We do not indulge in dreams of dispensing at once with all administration, with all subordination. These anarchist dreams serve only to postpone the socialist revolution until human nature has changed. No, we want the socialist revolution with human nature as it is now.
How selfish soever man may be supposed, there are evidently some principles in his nature which interest him in the fortune of others, and render their happiness necessary to him, though he derives nothing from it except the pleasure of seeing it.
You are known among us as a protector of the arts, so you must remember that, of all the arts, for us, the cinema is the most important.
This disposition to admire, and almost to worship, the rich and powerful, and to despise, or at least neglect, persons of poor and mean conditions, though necessary both to establish and to maintain a distinction of ranks in the order of society, is, at the same time, the great and most universal cause of the corruption of our moral sentiments.
When we are victorious on a world scale, I think we shall use gold for the purpose of building public lavatories in the streets of some of the largest cities in the world.
Let us suppose that the great empire of China, with all its myriads of inhabitants, was suddenly swallowed up by an earthquake. And let us consider how a man of humanity in Europe, who had no sort of connection with the part of the world, would be affected upon receiving intelligence of this dreadful calamity. He would, I imagine, first of all, express very strongly his sorrow for the misfortune of that unhappy people. He would make many melancholy reflections upon the precariousness of human life, and the vanity of all the labors of men, which could thus be annihilated in a moment. He would too, perhaps, if he was a man of speculation, enter many reasonings concerning the effects which this disaster might produce upon the commerce of Europe, and the trade and business of the world in general. And when all this fine philosophy was over, when all these human sentiments had once fairly expressed, he would pursue his business or his pleasure, take his repose and his diversion, with the same ease and tranquillity as if no such accident had happened.
America has become one of the foremost countries in regard to the depth of the abyss which lies between the handful of arrogant multimillionaires who wallow in filth and luxury, and the millions of working people who constantly live on the verge of pauperism.
In ease of body and peace of mind, all the different ranks of life are nearly upon a level, and the beggar who suns himself by the side of the highway possesses that security which kings are fighting for.
see the restriction after restriction upon democracy. These restrictions, exceptions, exclusions, obstacles for the poor seem slight, especially in the eyes of those who have never known want themselves and have never been close in contact with oppressed classes in their mass life. And 9 out of 10, if not 99 out of 100 bourgeois publicists and politicians come under this category. On their sum total, these restrictions exclude and squeeze out the poor from politics, from active participation in democracy. Democracy for an insignificant minority, democracy for the rich. That is the democracy of a capitalist society.
With the greater part of rich people, the chief enjoyment of riches consists in the parade of riches.
Modern militarism is the result of capitalism. In both its forms, it is the vital expression of capitalism. As a military force used by the capitalist states in their external conflicts, and as a weapon in the hands of the ruling classes for suppressing every kind of movement, economic and political, of the proletariat.
All for ourselves and nothing for other people seems, in every age of the world, to have been the vile maxim of the masters of mankind.
You can become a communist only when you enrich your mind with the knowledge of all the treasures created by mankind.
The interest of the dealers, however, in any particular branch of trade or manufacturers is always in some respects different from, and even opposite to, that of the public. To widen the market and to narrow the competition is always the interest of the dealers. The government of an exclusive company of merchants is, perhaps, the worst of all governments for any country. Wherever there is great property, there is great inequality.
We want to achieve a new and better order of society. In this new and better society, there must be neither rich nor poor. All will have to work, not a handful of rich people, but all the working people must enjoy the fruits of their common labor. Machines and other improvements must serve to ease the work of all, and not to enable a few to grow rich at the expense of millions and tens of millions of people. This new and better society is called socialist society. The teachings about this society are called socialism.